All right, guys. So it's time for one more comic, one more bad day. So this is Batman One Bad Day, Ra's al Ghul, written by Tom Taylor and artwork by Ivan Reyes. And yeah, this is the last of the Batman One Bad Day comics. I've really enjoyed, for the most part, the majority of these these One Bad Day books, and I really hope they come out with another series. I really do hope they come out with a follow-up series, maybe. Like, I did a video on it not too long ago, talking about like what other 8 Batman villains I'd like to see get their own One Bad Day one-shots. And yeah, so let's talk about this. Did they save best for last? It's hard to say, but this was good. This was a good, solid... I wouldn't say a solid end, but I do think it does bring up a very good question about Ra's al Ghul. Because the whole comic is, why does Batman could save the world if he wanted to. And it also points out the question of, hey, Ra's isn't as evil as we all... this kind of Ra's al Ghul... I like this Ra's al Ghul where he's like, I'm generally trying to save the world and save the future, so fucking help. So this comic is basically a story that Ra's al Ghul is, his whole thing is that his whole mission is that he's got a hit list, and he's hunting down and killing and making it look like accidents certain people, certain billionaires and CEOs and media moguls, all of whom it's literally like he's hunting the GOP. Like, that's really what it is. It's like Ra's al Ghul is hunting down the GOP throughout this entire fucking comic. It's kind of hysterical in a way, because he's like hunting down and killing, like, clearly people are supposed to be like, you know, Rupert Murdoch and stuff like that. They're not actually those, but you can clearly see where they're based off of. Like, he even takes out like vloggers who are like claiming that diseases are hoaxes. Can't imagine who he's referring to that. But yeah, this comic is pretty much shines... actually, it's kind of a fun spotlight, because there's this great moment where Ra's al Ghul is Ra's is like, he literally looks at Batman and says, I understand what you do, and I'm forever grateful that you want to save the world, and I know that you're a valuable adversary and the father of my grandson, you know, but you do so little. Bruce, you do so goddamn little for this world, and you literally can't help yourself. And maybe it's because you were born into a wealthy world. You were born into a world of wealth, and you had a butler instead of parents. That may be it, of why you want to save these people who are assholes. Even Damian in here is like, yeah, why are we doing this? Like, why? Like, is it so wrong that we're saving these people who have clearly murdered the planet and have caused thousands of people to die? Like, they really make it that this really does flip the script of Ra's is the protagonist of this comic. Ra's is Batman is the antagonist of this book, and Ra's is the hero of this story. Even if he is brutally murdering, all these people, they're all people who have destroyed the planet and humanity in and of itself. It's very much like a question that no one wants to answer, really talk about, of this whole thing of, right, and what I also like is that Tom Taylor doesn't do the thing that most writers do in shows and comics and other things, where they have a sympathetic group, but then they do something completely insane and go completely, left field. A perfect example of this is, the Flag Smashers, who were all about, making sure people were taken care of, the Kylie, or is it Carly or Kylie? I don't know. But yeah, Kylie basically goes apeshit at the end and just loses her mind, and I'm like, what was, It's almost like writers realize they're writing a protagonist when they're supposed to be writing an antagonist, and then they have to make some wild shit happen to make it not work. And that's what this book is where Tom Taylor literally says, no, Ra's is clearly the good guy. Batman is out here trying to save people who are literally trying to kill the planet, and it's not going well. I really like that. I really like how Batman, like, yeah. If you're wondering where in continuity this is, I guess it could be its own continuity. Also, shout out to Ivan Reyes for some really good artwork. He did a phenomenal fucking job in this comic. Yeah. Just really good. Ivan Reyes is really good in this. I also will say that this artwork, I don't know if this was on purpose with Reyes, but Ivan Reyes clearly is really like, he's really doing like and maybe I'm just overthinking it, and maybe I'm just thinking too deep into it, but he's really doing a good job at paying homage, or at least it looks like homage, to Neil Adams, the co-creator of Ra's al Ghul, and an artist we lost last year. So I don't know, maybe that's just me overthinking it, but it does feel like that was intentional to make it very like Neil Adams-ish artwork. But yeah, I really do like the story in here, and we also get a bit more of Raish's childhood, and talking about why, like the first time he encountered war as a child. There's some really good There's some really great storytelling in here. I do like how this comic goes in a direction you weren't expecting, and again, this is a comic that I have to say again, Ra's is the good guy. Like it's again like it's the same thing of like why people don't why most writers I should say, some have, but then it gets retconned later, where some writers are like, Magneto's kind of the good guy, shouldn't we like explore that? Like, shouldn't we explore that at some point? Or like how Kuvira was trying to unite the kingdom, but then out of nowhere, giant robot. It's very much like that, but here Tom Taylor says no. Batman's wrong, Ra's is in the right, and how it ends is kind of like, oh, we went that route, okay. I'm not going to say how it ends, but it is a very, like, oh, we ended on that note, okay, but not the note you may have been expecting. This was a solid book all through and through. Will I say it's one of my favorites? I don't know. It is definitely good. It is. I definitely walked away enjoying this. I loved like having. There is Talia in here, so I guess this is kind of ignoring like some of the stuff going on in the current in the DC comics right now between Ra's and Talia and all of that. But this comic definitely showcases a lot of dichotomy between all of them. But although I will say there isn't a lot of Talia, we don't. It's more about Bruce, Damian, and Ra's. But yeah. Anyway, so this was a solid book, and I really, for the most part, I really enjoyed a lot of the One Bad Day books. So yeah, hopefully DC will do more in the future. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of Batman One Bad Day, Ra's al Ghul? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.